Us that he's able to handle a bigger load than what we were giving him early in the season. I still think it's in our best interest to have more than one guy. Just you do get in a couple of those games where that back, when him being by himself, he starts getting in that 30 carry range. We do use him a lot in the passing game. That it would probably be a lot over the long haul. And I think he has confidence, and he's kind of conditioned himself to be able to do that. But at the same time, the way this league is, you'd love to have the guy for every game instead of 13 games.
When a guy like that finishes strong to end this season, how much confidence does it give the coaching staff in him heading into next season?
A lot. I mean, you want guys to improve as the season goes on, and when they get their opportunity, take full advantage of it. And that was something that, he said it to me before we even really started the season. He said, if I get another opportunity, he goes, I wasted it last year. He's like, I started a game and I didn't do anything with it. And I thought he had the right mindset coming in this season.
With you guys going on IR, did Vincent Taylor agree with you guys? He's a rotational NFL defensive tackle. And with Leonte, how difficult is it to judge improvement based mostly on practice? Obviously, your top three vets took most of the steps.
I think we gained a lot this season from seeing, Vincent do all the things we've asked him to do, from special teams to defense. There was a few games where he was down. We still saw him every week. He practiced like it was a game. He was one of our high-energy guys. He practiced hard every day. And, he gave us value on special teams, which is great to get from a defensive lineman. I do think he's a guy that we're looking forward to, keep developing and seeing how far we can help him grow as a football player. And then as far as Carew goes, we saw huge strides in practice, knowledge of the offense. He didn't get a lot of opportunity, but I feel like the times that we put him in, there wasn't errors. He was doing the right things. Now it's just going to be, the next step of the confidence level, making plays, taking full advantage of any opportunity you get.
Evan, you talked to Jay Cutler about his future?
No, I haven't talked to anybody about. I've told those guys, you know what? There's a time and a place for all this. When it comes to the postseason, off-season type things, and right now isn't that time. I mean, we have one game left, and everybody needs to focus on that.
Would you want some clarity from guys like him, Bushrod, quickly after the season, or are you going to give him some time?
I mean, we got time. I'm not going to be in a rush.
After the last game, Pouncey said that he had his best season, and to ask the coaches, I know you've only had him for 2 years, but how well has he performed?
Especially down the stretch, he's been probably our most consistent guy, and he's probably played his best ball in the back half of this season. I know we've done some things to make sure that he feels good on Sunday, which I know is frustrating for him to watch. He's not a big fan of watching practice. He's kind of right in the mix even when he's not practicing. But our whole goal was to make sure that we had him for Sunday. And, especially in these last two games where we needed him to play well and we needed guys to play well, he was one of the few guys that really stepped up and did what he was supposed to do.
Do you intend to treat this as you have all the other games and play all the usual guys, or are there some guys you want to give a chance now to because there aren't actual playoff stakes in this game for you?
Well, first of all, we got to figure out who's going to be healthy. We do have some guys banged up, and we've had to make some roster moves. And if we can put certain guys in the game that we haven't played yet, that's always great. We just got to kind of see how the week goes, who's available, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm sure all of us would like to see certain guys play that we haven't had a chance to play, but at the same time, there's other guys that, they earn those spots for a reason.
What's your plan at quarterback this week?
Jay will start.
Are you intending for Jay to take the whole game?
We'll kind of see how the game goes. Jay hasn't done anything to come out, no reason for him to come out of the game right now.
Susan selected as a team MVP. What in particular did you see him do well this season?
I thought I just think back to the spring when he came back before OTAs of how he took the young guys and helped those guys develop and get better every day. You know, he was working with those guys. He had, you know, an overall goal to help those guys be factors in the season because he knew for him to be as effective as he needed to be, he has to have multiple guys that are playing well with him. And he took a lot of pride in making sure those guys were up to speed, and those guys did a great job of listening to him and taking what he was giving them. And, you know, once we got in the season, I mean, it has to be frustrating for him because every game it's double team, triple team, you know, and he still finds ways to make plays. He still finds ways to create pressure on the quarterback, especially in critical situations. I just think of that Oakland game, you know, we needed a huge play, and that was straight effort. You know, I mean, he has got 3 guys on him, somehow wiggles free, and then, you know, you see a guy 320 pounds diving in the air and knocking the ball out and then trying to recover it. I mean, he did everything he could this year to try to help us.
Cam kind of said on Sunday that he felt like the talent was here to make a run. Do you agree? Does it make it all the more frustrating that you feel like you let an opportunity pass?
Yeah, I think, you know, when we go back and revisit this season, you know, in the off season, there's probably going to be a lot of frustration. I feel like we let a lot of things slip through our fingers, and that's where we got to understand. You know, when you're a young player, sometimes you forget how valuable every game is, and we do have a lot of young guys that have to learn how to prepare each week because you never know when that's going to be the week that changes your season one way or the other, and we have to understand we're going to play in every kind of environment, weather-wise, hot, cold, rain, snow, doesn't matter, whatever it is, we got to figure out a way to play well in it. And, you know, these last 2 weeks were a valuable lesson for us because we didn't play as well as we needed to, and it was a little bit cold, and we have to play better in those situations.
Adam, do personal records mean anything to you? So the one that comes to mind, I guess, Jarvis, I think he's 8 receptions from a personal best. Cam, I don't know what you can do to get him double-digit sacks, but would you try to help players achieve that, or is it just the course of the game, let's try to win?
I think it usually just works out. Every time I've ever tried to do anything, it never works out the right way. I think you just let it happen. So, I mean, as soon as the one time that I tried to do something, it just totally backfired. So, I mean, I've never told myself I'd never do that again. I'm telling you.
Oh, come on. Come on. Let me try again. Come on.
So, when's the last time you talked to Steve Ross, and what's been his demeanor and opinion about the season?
Last time I talked to him was Saturday night. And it's been the same all season. Just keep grinding, keep trying to find ways to get guys better. You know, I know what his expectations were, and they're always been the same. Where he wants to win, he wants to have a chance to play in the tournament, and we didn't really get that done this year. I'm sure that's disappointing for him. You know, he does everything he can to be supportive to us and give us everything we possibly need, and that's, you know, for me, and I know Mike and Chris feel the same. You know, you feel like you let him down when he's given us so much, and you know, we have to find a way to be more consistent throughout the season, and we have to find a way to put ourselves in position. We were lucky enough to be in position these last 2 weeks to at least have a shot, and we didn't get it done. But we need to put ourselves in better position where we're not fighting for our playoff lives, where we're hoping 8 teams lose for us to have a chance.
There were several other players besides Wake Sunday who were saying that they felt this team should have been better this year, even with some of the people you guys lost, and that there was a lot of getting in your own way. Do you include yourself in that group? Do you feel like there are things that you did that didn't fully maximize what you had?
I think we all feel that way. I mean, that's why the off season's, it's a horrible experience to go through when you have a situation like this where you start going back through and you start telling yourself, I should have done this, and maybe I shouldn't have called this. I mean, it's like you have to be extremely hard on yourself so you make sure you don't make those mistakes again. I mean, that's why it's the greatest team sport you can possibly be involved in, because it's not going to be one guy, it's going to be everybody. And that's from top to bottom. I mean, we all have a hand in this, and at the end of the day, we didn't get it done.
Was it setting in for you at all the last 2 days with the finality of Sunday, knowing that you're not going?
Yeah, you can say that.
So Rick won the leadership award. How would you describe his leadership?
I think, you guys have been around him forever. I mean, he's the ultimate lead by example guy. I do think he tried to do more the last 2 years as far as speaking up. When Cam talks, everybody listens. You know, we don't need him to say something all the time. But when he does say something, guys listen to him. And, you know, you'd love for young guys to really pay attention to the way he does things. I mean, you know, he says it best when he's talks about it. He does everything he can to make sure that he's in, you know, peak performance, because, you know, once it's done, once it's over, it's over. And he's going to sell out and do everything he can to make sure that he's the best he can be until it's time to call it quits.
Has Devontae Parker offered you some encouraging moments in the last 2 weeks?
I think last week was, you know, there was a couple times where it was good to see him go up and get one. You know, even the week, you're right, the week before, same thing. And, you know, we had a couple situations where we needed to get something going, and we went to him and he made a play. And it might be something as little as catching a slant, but I mean, it was just like things were not going well, and he made a play to kind of at least get the ball rolling. We didn't finish drives, but, you know, he has shown us that you can tell he's feeling better. He's doing a lot of the things we've been asking him to do all season. You know, we just need to get to the point where, you know, we have that consistency game in, game out. You know, if we get to that point, he should be a very good player.
Adam, if you look ahead, is Jesse Davis better suited for guard or tackle?
I don't know. I'll get to that after the season. I mean, right now he's playing guard.
Guys good? Thank you.